What is up everyone, and welcome to the first CSS video tutorial here at beginnertuts.com. In order to attend this course, it is a good idea that you have watched our course on HTML first. So if you haven't, then please go back and watch our tutorials on HTML. CSS is short for Cascading Style Sheets. You basically use CSS for styling your HTML pages, so you can change colors, backgrounds, orientations, alignment on your HTML elements. The main difference between HTML and CSS is that HTML is used for structuring your pages, while CSS is more like a layout language which you use to style your pages. So basically, if you want a website that is not just black and white and standard sizes and colors, you need to learn CSS. And that is also why we have created this series. There are two ways of styling in CSS. First we have inline styling and we have style sheet styling. When using inline styling, you can style HTML elements individually. When using style sheets, you style your HTML elements through a separate CSS document. This document is basically used to remotely control the styles of all your HTML pages. First, I would like to show you how to use inline styling. So I'm just going to delete this, and then I'm going to go down to these two paragraphs. I would like to style the first paragraph with inline styling. To do that, I'm going to enter the opening tag of the paragraph. In here, I'll need to add an attribute called style. Style is the attribute which you will always use when applying some CSS style to a tag or an element. Inside of this attribute, I can then specify which properties that I want to style. In CSS there are literally hundreds of different properties, so it's just about picking the right one for your paragraph. So let's say that I want to style the color property of my paragraph. So then I'm just gonna write color right there, and to specify a color I need to use hexadecimal values. So if I want the color of my paragraph to be yellow, I would use this value FFFF00. So now the color of this paragraph should be yellow, because this is the hexadecimal value for yellow. Let's try viewing it in the browser, and as you can see, this paragraph now has the color yellow, so it has worked. I could also try to style the background color of this paragraph, so I'm just going to go in here. And here it's important that you always separate your properties with a semicolon. So I'm going to do that. And then I want to style the background color, and it is right here, so I'm just going to choose that one, and I want that to be gray. And the value for gray is CC, like that. So let's view that in the browser. And just as expected, we now have a paragraph that has a gray background. So that is basically how you can style a single element using CSS. But this is actually quite time consuming if you have a lot of different paragraphs that you want to style. This problem has however been solved by the use of CSS style sheets. As said before, using a style sheet will enable you to specify a single style, and that style will then be applied to all your HTML elements. Let me show you how to use a style sheet. First you need to create a CSS style sheet. I've already done that, as you can see up here, and I've called it stylesheet.css. Remember that the extension of the file should always be CSS when it's a style sheet file. So I'm gonna go into that file, and as you can see, it's basically empty. Then to style my paragraph element, I would have to write P, because that's the tag name. Then I would have to add two brackets, curly brackets, and then I would again in here be able to style the different properties. So I'm just gonna be choosing color again, and this time I want the color to be white, and the color for white looks like this, and end it with a semicolon. Then I also want to style the background color like that, and I also want that to be gray. and end it with a semicolon. So now I have created a separate style sheet. Then I will go back into my HTML file and go into my head tag. In my head tag I'll need to link this CSS style sheet to my HTML page. So I'm gonna go down here and write link rel style sheet, and then use the property href, and then I'm gonna choose my style sheet.css. Then we need to specify a type, and it is text/CSS. And finally I'm just gonna close it like that. Let's try viewing this in the browser. And as you can see, the second paragraph in my HTML document has now been styled. It has a white text and a gray background. So this one is inline styling and this one is done through a style sheet. So if I make another HTML document and link that to my CSS style sheet as well, then all paragraphs that are made in that HTML document will be styled like the one down here. This one up here is not styled according to the style sheet because a specific inline styling has been appointed to this paragraph. And that was the final word for today. In the next videos in this series I'll be showing you how to style your forms, your tables, your paragraphs, your headings, your links. Basically you will be learning how to style all these different HTML elements. If you have any questions or comments, please visit beginnertuts.com, where you will also be able to join our forum. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you soon.